Cowboy Nations, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Kenneth J., and you are in the right place if you are a cowboy enthusiast like myself. That's right, because at Cowboy Nation Live, we explore and analyze everything that went right with the Cowboys and what went wrong with the Cowboys, and then we try to see if we can rectify it in some form or fashion. Today, we have a very exciting guest. He was on last week, and he was honored and graced us with his presence once again for this week. Our Big Tiz is his name from Steeler Nation Live. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Big Tiz.
What's up, Cowboy Nation? What is up? What is up? Hey, thanks again for Ken having me on today. And the fact is, with Cowboy Nation, that's what it's all about, and that's what we said. But one thing I love it is football. And right now, Cowboy Nation is getting his wings in, and so we're gonna do that here. And I'm here today to help you guys out. And one of the things, Kenzo, if you want to get to it, we want to talk about the Cowboys going into LA, playing the Chargers, and actually coming out of that with a win. I told everybody last week that the Cowboys were gonna do it, brother.
Gotta give it up for them boys, man. Can we just say our famous slogan? How about them Cowboys?
Oh yeah. Y'all did it, brother. Y'all did it.
It was a very, very exciting game, as we know. But let's just start with the stats first, all right? If we can roll in and see what the stats were like with this game, because we already won. So here we go. Oh, well, before we get into the stats, let's get into what we're going to go through in the show tonight, which is going to be the game stats, the offense, the defense, the special teams, the injuries, the next game, and the final thoughts. That's how we do it here at Cowboy Nation, and we look forward to just exploring with you. So, let me tell them, Big Tiz, before we get this started, feel free to call in anytime, if you will. We have our number is 478. Tiz, you want to give them that number right quick?
Yeah. 478-202-4271. That's 478-202-4271. Call us during the discussion. We want to get your feedback. If you're a straight Cowboy fan, we want to get your thoughts and impressions of what you thought about the game versus the Chargers, and even some of what's going into the next game versus the Eagles, which is going to be a huge game. Whether you got it, it's in the same division. So I look at it as playoff implications. Anytime you play somebody within your division, it always comes down to that, at the end of the season for playoff seeding. So that should be some huge talk. So make sure you guys call us. Check us out. We want to hear from you here on Cowboy Nation Live. We got the number right there at the bottom of the screen, 478-202-4271 on Cowboy Nation Live.
Thank you so much, Big Tiz. Appreciate that. But like we started earlier, let's get into the stats about this game, man. It was an amazing effort. Even with the rookies, some of the defensive rookies like Trevon Diggs and, of course, Michael Parsons. Oh, my God, man. He just lit it up. But let's just start with the stats and see where we can go from there, all right? Sounds good?
Sounds good, brother. Let's do it.
All right, so the Cowboys had, we won, of course, the victory. But our rushing yards, we had 179. Zeke had actually 71 yards for 16 attempts, and he scored. But it was truly Tony Pollard who really showed up. With 13 rushes, he rushed for 109 yards. And that's amazing to me. That game, it was split up between them, but Pollard showed a little more heart today. What do you think, Sandman?
Yeah, I thought Pollard was the man. I mean, you know how I feel about Pollard. I think Pollard should be the main back for Cowboys. And the fact is, we have Ezekiel Elliott. He's got all the money, so Zeke is going to be running the ball. And some people say, you know what, Zeke is the main back for the Cowboys. He's making the money, so everybody probably would more or less want to see him in the game. But I love the dimension that Pollard brings to this running attack, and he's done a phenomenal job. As you can see, 109 yards over this weekend's game versus the Chargers. And, Zeke did his thing too. Zeke had about 70, 78, 79, I believe.
Yeah.
And the fact is he added the yards, but I still like that Pollard kid. I think he should more or less get more touches in the Cowboys offense. And so that's the way I'm looking at it.
All right, all right. Well, let's go on to Dak, man. Dak had another amazing high percentage in throws, 23 of 27 for 237 yards. I know you mentioned last week how that balance. We were talking about the balance between the pass and the run, and Dak is right there where we talked about last week. And because last week we mentioned how when you have all those yards, you're always coming from behind. You're playing catch up.
Right.
But this balance, it was like we commanded the game with it, really.
Right.
So he also
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say as well too, because when you get that one-dimensional type, what we were doing before, where he was throwing for 400, 500 yards, then you get into close games, and it's kind of hard to get away from that. So now you got him trying to win the game all on himself. That's where you end up with it, with an incomplete pass on fourth down, instead of just having that well-balanced machine to where you can get them off balance and start throwing some runs in there. The Cowboys look much better, and they do much better when there's equal balance between the run and pass. So I think right now in that game, they had that. They were gashing them with the run, and they started gashing them with the pass. And it was all done in sequence and was beautiful. Not, to be honest, people see it, and they see none of the receivers for the Cowboys scored a touchdown. But the thing is, the big difference was it all added in getting down the field, picking up first downs, swing passes out to that picked up 5 to 6 yards. All that adds up in getting down the field for the Cowboys, and it worked out well. Now you get to that one-dimensional game where you don't have the running attack, so now you got more guys in the box trying to put pressure on your quarterback, and they actually did a phenomenal job with a well-balanced attack. So I got to give the Cowboys great game plan going into this game, and they did a well job, and they came out with a win, Kenzo.
That's what's up, Big Tiz. Also worth mentioning, you just touched on it and you reminded me of it, was the first downs, man. Cowboys, both teams had a tremendous amount of first downs, 55 and 51. But the Cowboys, for the whole week, the whole NFL had the most first downs in the game. 55 first downs. Now that's some production right there. That
right.
is major production. And got to give it up to Tony Ballard for a lot of that. And also CeeDee Lamb. He was great. He was great this week. He didn't get a touchdown or anything, but he did great. And to mention the offensive line, Terrence Steele came in for Leo Collins. And while he's far from perfect, but he had 3 pressures on 28 pass blocking snaps, and it took a performance like that to match up against who? Joey Bosa. He was in Joey Bosa's face. He was manning up.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. Like I said, you got to take control of the game, and they did that. They did that on all facets of the game, but except for, like I said, last week, I still have an issue with the Cowboys secondary. I still think they're kind of lacking in areas, and they did have some good. They did have some good interceptions during the game, but the fact is, they also had 2 touchdowns that were called back for the LA Chargers that could have made the difference in this game. So. Definitely. I believe the Cowboys, they got a lot to work with. And when I bang the secondary for the Cowboys, it's not just the fact of saying they got a bum secondary or bad defensive backs. It goes to the fact of the whole complete package of the defense, because it always starts with the quarterback, with the defensive front getting pressure on the quarterback and causing disruption, which will get into a bad pass or interception. And they did that on occasions. They just need to do a little bit more of it. And also, we all know that the Cowboys do have injuries that with people out, with Lawrence out and things like that, you do know that's where you lose that pass rush ability on certain areas with the Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely. And we lost Amani Cooper too as well. And don't know if he'll be in this week's game. Jerry Jones is reported as saying that he's hoping that he'll be ready for the game, but it doesn't look like he's going to be ready based on the EM report and some other things that I've come across. So this is going to be interesting this week to see, if CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson, you can't forget about him, because he steps up when he needs to step up as well. So he plays well. I wanted to go back a little bit and talk about the the offensive line that that we were talking about when you were mentioning the secondary.
Right,
Trayvon
right.
Diggs. Trayvon Diggs. He was definitely he made an impact in the game, but he did some kind of foolish things too that what he got penalized for, roughing the passer. What was it?
Oh yeah. Oh
Something
yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
did that was, and I was like, that's just the youth in him, you know.
Right,
That's
right.
just the youth. 2 2 3 years he get that out of his system, but he really checks these guys out, man. He sticks to them like super glue on some instances, you know.
Oh yeah, I can deal with a guy being a little rough around the edges and picking up a penalty here and there, just long as the penalties aren't in crucial situations, without like the end of the game or whatever. Because that happens from time to time. You get a guy who wants to be shut down on a receiver or whatever, and he's a young guy, so he'll get a penalty here and there, just long as it's not in those crucial situations. Happens early in the game, it is what it is. Happens in the middle of the game, you know what? You don't want it, but it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
It happens with a minute 50 left, 2 minutes left in the game.
You
Then it is
don't.
what it is with a loss. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So just those things they got to work on, and it's early on in the season. And like I said last week, the Cowboys lost in a close game, which they could have won. The Cowboys could have easily had, the swing of things when you see this right now with the Cowboys could have easily have been 0-2 instead of 1-1, or the Cowboys could have been 2-0
True.
if they could have upset the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, it's a wild swing of things how it ended up to where they're 1-1, which is I guess it's a good balance because they played tough enough to win the first one. They didn't lose it, but Cowboy fans weren't like totally dismayed, because you played well.
That's
So,
debatable.
You got to look at it that way. And so it's a crazy swing from
Yeah.
2-0 to possibly 0-2 to now 1-1. So I think the Cowboys are in a great spot. Granted, it was a tight game against the Chargers, and that could have actually went either way, which would have been bad to go to that 0-2, but
Yeah.
they came out on top, and the Cowboys just have to build off of that and know that they have injuries. So next man up. Next man has to step up and do some damage for the Cowboys.
Exactly. And I know Dak had that one interception. It was just an an overthrow, bounced off dude. But
Right.
we had 2 interceptions. So I was like, okay, we did some things. Our defense they were there, but I need them to be there. With that double impact.
Right.
There. Which brings me to the defense of Micah Parsons. This dude, man, you can put him in any position and he plays them all well. It was like I was watching DeMarcus Lawrence on ginseng out there.
Right.
He was getting at that. He was getting at it. He was giving tackles. What's the guy named Storm Norton? He was giving that dude a hassle all day, man. That dude couldn't contain him. And it was just him being a rookie with 7 pressures, including 1 sack and 1 hit. Man,
that's huge. That's huge.
That is huge. Huge.
Yeah. Like I said, that leaves a lot for the Cowboys to build off of. And you got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's going to be out for, it looks like, an extended period of time. Now you got this young rookie who steps in, and with a rookie giving pressures like that, that's huge. That's something to build off of when going down the stretch, when you got a rookie that you can rely on and that's doing damage. So when DeMarcus gets back, you got bookends possibly.
Yeah.
That's coming at you from in the backfield at a quarterback. So that'll open up a lot of things. And like I said, that will in the long run aid those defensive backs back there who, these young defensive backs who are still learning the game as the season goes along. Hopefully via, like you said, no injuries or anything like that. And if the Cowboys can keep the offensive side of the ball pretty much healthy, as you already said, Amari Cooper's already with a rib injury, so I'm not sure if he's going to be back for the next game. He might be out. I don't know. Right now it's Wednesday as we doing this show, and it could be the middle. By Thursday or Friday, who knows? He could be questionable. But how effective will he be? So will he be in the game? And so the injury bug is biting a lot of teams in the NFL right now, Kenzo. So everybody, like we said, and I agree that you pay these guys a lot of money, and the next guy in line that's on your team, he needs to step up. That's all to it.
Definitely. And speaking of stepping up, I was impressed with someone this weekend that I'm really looking at sideways a lot, and that's Jalen Smith, man. Dude had 10 tackles. I was like,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
okay, all right. He's I think Micah is lighting the fire under some of them, man. Micah's presence, really, I really do. I think if you want to call it inspiration, let's call it inspiration. But they're not gonna let a rookie come in and show them up is what it boils down to me as I see it.
Right. Hey guys, like we said earlier at the beginning of the show, if you want to call in and chat with us on the Cowboy Nation live line, we are here 478-202-4271. We want to hear from you. Get your thoughts out there on the Cowboys and what you think about the Cowboys, direction the Cowboys are going, all that. We want to hear here online 478-202-4271. We want to hear from you.
There it
Now,
is.
Kenzo,
Yes, sir.
they got a huge game coming up this week, and where the Cowboys will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Huge game, and like I said, it's a divisional game.
Yeah.
You got to look at every game as playoff implications. It's a long season, but when you're playing somebody in your division, that's something that can really hurt you.
Yeah.
So, the last time in this meeting, the Cowboys lead the series 70-54, and
hold that right there.
this is their yeah. Yeah, they lead it. They lead it 70-54, and then this month, I believe it's a Monday night game,
Okay.
and it'll be the 125th meeting for this game, and I can also see the Cowboys right now. It's going to be a battle, no matter which way you say it. It's a divisional game. You're playing the Eagles. The Eagles play the Cowboys tough. I mean, Kenzo, what are your thoughts on that going into that rivalry with the Cowboys playing the Eagles this week? And what is your feel that you get from this game?
Well, I've been watching. What's his name? Jalen, their quarterback.
Right.
Eagles quarterback.
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts. He's been phenomenal, man. And he's got a lot of heart. He's got that tenacity, and it's like you said, it can go either way because last year we met them twice in November and December. We won one and they won one, so it's like, okay, who wants this more? Even though we beat them more, but who wants this more? Eagles are playing with a lot of heart. They're playing with a lot of heart, and that is something that it's just going to be the will of the powers who's going to overtake that. But I'm optimistic because that's what I do, man. And I gotta say, I love your cobalt blue tonight, man. I didn't peg you for a cowboy lover, but look at you.
Oh man, hey, I gotta represent you guys tonight here, man, on Cowboy Nation Live. I mean, the Cowboys, they're gonna be in a battle this weekend, and I want to show all my respects to it. But you know what? Like I said, you're right. Everything about it. It's gonna be a tough battle. Hurts plays tough. Their defense kept them in the game versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
This is a long matchup. This matchup goes back to 1960. And one fun fact, guys, that we talked about offline was the fact that the Cowboys usually do well in their matchups versus the Eagles whenever Zeke gets the ball. When I say gets the ball, Zeke averages at least 115 yards a game in wins versus the Eagles. Now, the losses versus the Eagles, Zeke averages 55 yards in a game. So that tells me that Zeke needs to carry the ball. And like we talked about earlier, not the 400, the 450 to 475 yards passing a game. That can't suffice. It's got to be that well-balanced, just like what they did against San Diego. It's got to be, the LA Chargers. It's got to be a well-balanced machine, and it's got to get to the point to where they got to get Zeke flowing back into the game. He had a good game this weekend, but Pollard kind of outdid him. Me myself, I'm a Pollard lover, so I think Pollard should be the man. But the Cowboys paid him a lot of money, so Zeke is going to eat. He's going to eat every carry, and if I paid him that much money, he gonna carry that ball like that. Kenzo, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think which way do you think the Cowboys should lean in this situation?
Big Tiz, I think what we're doing now is great. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we're gonna need the power of Zeke later at the end of the season and through the playoff runs. If Pollard
I
can
like
get
that.
us all of these wins now, if we can put some weight on him and he can conserve Zeke for us until the end of the
Right.
season, it would be. I say it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
you
I
know,
agree. I agree.
you
I
know.
I kind of I kind of like that. That was a good way to look at it. Get letting Zeke be the man further down the stretch
Yeah,
when you gonna need him. So
definitely.
and he was the horse that got you there in a couple years earlier and things like that. So I agree with that aspect of kind of keeping Zeke somewhat in but you gotta get those games where Zeke has got to be the man that's got to get off. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
the Cowboys they got to get it done somehow and they got to figure it out. But I know continually going through Dak, and Dak is a phenomenal talent, but Dak is a guy that's coming off a huge injury, and the Cowboys can't afford for him to be continually back there passing. And then Kenzo, you got that option, that problem of him getting injured again
big
because
Tiz,
he's back there
big
passing
Tiz,
so much.
big Tiz.
And that, yes,
We ain't gonna speak on
yes,
that, man. We're not gonna speak on the potential of anything. Only potential we're gonna speak on is winning the Super Bowl. We got the potential and the capacity. Getting hurt, that's part of football, but we ain't gonna wish that on the Cowboys, man.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear
You
you. I
know?
hear you. Hey, I'm with it, man. And like, hey, you Cowboy fans, like I said, we welcome you to the conversation, and we want to get your thoughts. Also, make sure you put your thoughts down there. In the even after the show, we want to see what your thoughts are, what you think the score is going to be in this game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The last time they played, the Cowboys won the last game in December, and that was 30-17. And prior to that game, the Eagles won that game. So it was like a 1-1 split, and they won that in November. It was a 23-9 game with the Eagles coming out on top. So now, like we said, it's going to be a hugely contested game. The Eagles seem like they have a game defense. They played well against San Francisco. Now you got the Cowboys coming in who are flying high with the offensive numbers and things like that. So if they can keep that balance, I believe that the Cowboys can come out on top. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a tight game. I see the Cowboys possibly coming out on top of this game, probably like a, a 27-20 type game. It's going to be tight for a while because it's not going to be as easy as it used to be for they're not that pushover anymore. The Eagles play the Cowboys tough divisional games. We all know how those work out. And I can see the Cowboys winning this first matchup. Is a big game in Dallas. Dallas has a lot of wares to show, so it's going to be a phenomenal game. So I would love to see the Cowboys coming out on top in this game, and I believe it's going to be 27-20.
27-20. Big Tiz. Cowboys on top.
Yeah,
All right.
Cowboys on top, 27-20. Cowboys going 2-1 at right now.
All right.
They're
I like
flying
that.
high. They got big injuries on the Cowboys. Don't get me wrong. DeMarcus Lawrence and now you got Amari Cooper who's got
Yeah.
injuries. But the thing about it is they're kind of still relatively healthy, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And you
I,
got Parsons who's stepping up. So I can actually see them possibly winning this game. A lot of teams are already facing huge injuries. And I think you guys will do well.
yeah, I look forward to that. I think I saw something today getting ready for, this 2 week draft, not draft, but the free agents that are coming up. There's
Right.
three defensive backs actually that the Cowboys are actually looking at right now, man. So I was kind of excited to see that today, because it would definitely help us and spur Michael Parsons on even more. So with that being said, I think I think there are pieces in place already being set up for the future, and I think they're delving. I think they're doing it right, and I think conserving Zeke for later in the season that may.
Right.
I think that's paramount.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when Zeke came in, he was a workhorse. He was carrying the team really. I know people was saying Dak, but Zeke was doing a lot of the work. And then
Right.
he started throwing more. But it's like I don't know if Jerry Jones want a quarterback like a like a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, somebody's always throwing,
Right.
instead of using the talent that he's got to actually create the wins for him. So what
Well,
do you
I
think?
mean, I agree with you. I agree with you on that aspect, but the fact is, the Cowboys do have some good receivers there. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, uh, trying to think of his name, but Jarwin, the tight end. I'm sorry,
Yeah, Blake Jarwin.
first name. Yeah,
Blake.
the for not. I mean, they got good pass catchers out there, and then they use Zeke from time to time. So the Cowboys do have some weapons out there, and I can understand why they throw.
Yeah.
But it has to be that balance, and like you said, it has to be Zeke. I said it. I know I said it 1,000 times, but that's the key to it. And the numbers tell you right there: 115 in a win, 55 in a loss. You figure it out.
Wow.
Cowboy fans, you figure it out. What do you think Zeke should be carrying the ball? Put your comments down there. Put it down there. If you're watching the show later, I want to get your thoughts on that. And also, one segment we wanted to touch base on too, what we talked about offline was, who do you think was your Cowboy player of the game? And honestly, my player of the game in the Cowboys game versus the LA Chargers is I got to pick Pollard. Pollard's my player of the game. And the reason I say Pollard's my player of the game, Pollard opened up the game for the Cowboys wide open on certain. He gashed them. Every chance they got, he gashed them.
Yeah, he did.
Every time he touched the ball, he made them pay for it.
He did.
So,
he did.
I mean, that's a decent back. And he's a backup back on top of that. So
running like a first string.
That's
back.
my player of the game. I don't know, Kenzo.
Well, I'm gonna go on the opposite.
And we
side
talked about offline. I mean, my thoughts are. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm gonna go on.
You gonna go the opposite side of that?
Yeah, on the defense. I gotta give it up for Micah Parsons, man. He's for him to be able to be put in all these different positions and get the job done, no matter where he's put.
Right.
It's like he's causing havoc on offenses that don't know what to do with him. So he's like Zeke and Dak were in their first year when people didn't know what to do or expect. Didn't know how to play him.
I like that.
Yep,
I agree. I agree totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it, man. Like you said, hey guys, make sure you let us know what you think your score is going to be in the game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I say a 27-20. Oh, Kenzo, we never got your score for the game.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to go be a little more conservative. I'm going to say maybe 24-17 Cowboys.
That's a
by
good one.
Touchdown.
I like that. Yeah, it's going to be a close game.
Oh, yeah. It's going to definitely
Nobody's
be a close game.
Run away with it. And believe me, if somebody does run away with it, you best believe that other team is going to be ready for the next matchup because they play them again.
Yes, they do.
So,
yes,
yeah.
It's like for the last few years.
I'd rather see that.
Yeah, for the last few years, it's been 1-1, 1-1, 1-1.
Right.
And make sure you tell your brother Lawrence.
Oh yeah, he's
just like
fan.
that.
Very Eagle fan.
You make sure you tell him I said, ha ha.
Exactly, bro.
I see him. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But it's coming to a close now, guys. But we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We do hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to many more nights being spent with you when you could be having anything else or doing anything else you decide to join us. So thank you so much. We appreciate the love. And until next Wednesday, same Cowboy time, same Cowboy station. Good night, everybody.